Finally, I'm back with another video. Now that some of you have died from old age, waiting on me to make another video about my GFX and its lenses, to those of you, I really apologize. It's been a crazy 1-2 years, however long it's been since I made the last video, and I wanted to put my face on the camera for this one because it has nothing to do with the GFX. That is the reason that I'm making the video, but it does have to do with Fujifilm. And so I hope that you all will stay tuned because I'm going to have many GFX videos coming soon. I've got some new lenses from Carl Zeiss coming in that are going to be amazing, and I really hope that it will act as an informative way for you all to learn about these lenses and hopefully use them with your cameras if you decide to get the GFX. I want to do this video about the Fuji X cameras, the APS-C cameras, just for, well, this is going to be a rant, and I want to go ahead and warn everyone right offhand that there's going to be profanity in the video, and you all need to be prepared for that. If you've got kids in the room, tell them to leave, because I'm not happy. Not happy at all. I have been shooting on a Fuji X-T5 for my wedding videos for many years now, since the camera was released, and I'm looking to upgrade. I need in-body stabilization, and the camera that I'm recording this video on is not a Fujifilm camera, and it will be revealed to you all later on because I'm going to do a video about it, but I will give you a hint, it's an Olympus. And so, why am I using an Olympus in a Fuji video? I am not a Fujifilm ambassador, nor am I an ambassador for any camera company. So disclaimer right out of the way. This video is not sponsored by Squarespace, established titles, or any of the other bullshit that you see all of these other YouTube channels shilling for, trying to make an extra buck, okay? This is my own personal opinions, and they are not bought and paid for by a camera company, a lens company, or anything else for that matter, or an ad website, nothing. This is my opinions, and you even get to have my cats in the video probably. They might jump up in my lap here, so buckle up and enjoy this one. This video is about the Fujifilm X-T5. It's a camera that was just announced and is soon to be released from Fujifilm this year in 2022. And a camera that I have been long waiting for to be the successor to the X-T4, which I thought on paper was an excellent camera. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. I've had a couple of friends of mine that have one that are in the wedding business, and they use them and love them. But they don't do video. They do photography. And so the reason that I'm interested in the X-T series is for video, and it acts as a very good hybrid camera. I really like the XH series, but it was a departure from the hybrid setup. The XH1 was okay, but the ergonomics of the camera was not that of the XT line. And I thought the X-T3 was a camera that really embodied all of those features into one unit, that you were able to not only have those classic Fuji simulations in pictures and video, but you had a video camera with the ergonomics of having those dials on top and being able to see your settings right then and there without having to go into menus, without having to use thumb scrolling wheels, a joystick, or anything like that, even though you have that option if you want it. And so I've been using the X-T3 now since I think it was released in 2017 or 2018. My Sony a7R II fell in the ocean, and I had to replace that camera, and I went with an X-T3. And the only other Fujifilm camera that I had used before that was the original X100, and I was actually shooting weddings with that slow thing. But the images were beautiful. And I thought that if I could get a faster body, buy a couple of lenses like that, because let's face it, they're much cheaper than full frame stuff. And it would be the perfect package for me, not only for size, ergonomics, but those gorgeous Fuji colors that we all know and love. So fast forward to today, or just recently. I'm a bit late coming out with this, by the way, but I wanted to make this before it became old news. So the Fujifilm X-T5 specs were released, and of course you have, and this is not to offend anyone in the YouTube vlogging or video review for cameras, that community. I'm not trying to offend any of you. I'm sure you all have many more subscribers than me, and you can claim that king of the mountain all you want to. But all of the shills that attend these summits, these events, they were all quick to release their videos reviewing and praising this camera as soon as the embargo was lifted. And just in only a few of the videos were there any little tidbits of information about the cons of the camera. All right? And before I say anything else, I want you all to know I have not had an X-T5 in my hands. So I want to give that camera the best benefit of the doubt, because I know it has the XH2 sensor in it. I know it's 40 megapixel. The images that I have seen, even with YouTube compression, from some people that I trust, the images are amazing, and they rival that of the GFX of all things. So it's an incredible camera on paper. One thing that really made the XT line stand apart was that it was Fuji's pro-level SLR style camera. Now, they have the X Pro series that's a rangefinder, but not anyone that shoots video really wants to use that camera because of its setup. That's more of a photography-based camera. It was never meant for video. And when the XH series was released, that was aimed more at videographers. I understand that. If you're only doing video, the XH series, bang, that's for you. When the XH2S and H2 were announced, both cameras were released this year. It became apparent to me that Fuji is starting to, and it didn't start with the XH series, by the way, it started with the GFX 100S. The company was getting away from the dials on top of the camera. They were getting away from those tactile manual features that we all know and that we love, and what most of us were brought to the system for. That's what we like. We love the retro design, even though it does come off as a hipster camera to some people. I have tons of people at weddings asking me if I've got a film camera. But it's just the appearance of the camera. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, and how it operates more than anything. And so with the XH2S and the XH2, they have released a PSAM dial, or the SAM dial as I like to call it. And they're getting rid of our ISO dial, they're getting rid of our shutter speed dial, and I'm pretty sure they've gotten rid of the exposure compensation dial as well. And that's a no-go for me. But hey, if Fuji wanted to make a camera that appealed to that audience, why the hell they're doing that I don't know, because if you want that, get a Canon, get a Nikon, get a Sony, get an Olympus even, Panasonic. There's plenty of other companies out there that offer that for you. Fuji is the only company, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, that is making a digital camera today. Now I know Nikon is making an APS-C camera that looks retro and all, but it's still, they have not nailed the soul of what Fuji has, yet at least. And there is not another company out there that is making a camera that has those manual dials on it, except for maybe Leica. So Fuji's losing its soul. And I've been arguing with myself about what the title of this video is going to be, but probably it's going to be that Fujifilm is dying. Because this is not clickbait. I believe that if Fujifilm continues down this path of making cameras that the ergonomics are there for everyone, let's be an all-inclusive thing, to where everyone from all walks of life can walk in here and pick this camera up and use it, and it's just like everything else. Why did you make your own original thing in the first place? Why did you want to stand out and be unique in the first place? And I'm asking this not as someone that is sponsored or paid to do this video. I am asking you, right in the camera, to Fuji's engineers and their head honchos there. Why did you choose to do this? Because you are betraying those that are like me, and I'm about to get to that reason here in a second. So stop typing on your keyboard right now. Listen to me for a second. Why did you go and betray us by forcing us to choose a camera with that stupid SAM dial on it and the little LCD readout on the top instead of our manual camera in the XT series? And why do I say that? The X-T5 just launched, right? It's got those dials on there. It looks just like all the other XT cameras. Did you all read the brochure? Did you read the caveat and what it says it does not require or does not come with or is capable of adapting to? A battery grip. You can't put a battery grip on the camera. Now, why is that? Is that because Fuji wanted it to be compact? They wanted it to be a smaller, less cumbersome camera? Or just more discreet? Or is it because they kept that option away because now their pro photography hybrid camera is the XH2 and they want to force you and me to buy one instead of that and to pay more money for that camera? A camera that has the same sensor and it has the SAM dial with those ergonomics that I do not want in my Fuji. I'll buy a Canon if I want that. So you see what I'm getting at here. I have searched far and wide on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, looking for a review, a post, anything that would help me understand what this choice was for, aside from forcing you to buy the XH2 or the XH2S. And I can't find any. And when I comment on it, the only thing that I get back is, I would say I would get 2 replies that were in support of what I said, or I would get 10 from acolytes that worship at the feet of Fuji's engineers and say, well, you know, this is what they've chosen to do and you just need to accept it. Just bend over and take it. I'm not going to bend over and take it. And I don't mean to be the guy just sitting here shouting and complaining or acting like the three bears or something. You know, it's either too hot or too cold or it's just not right. I'm not trying to be that way. I'm just saying they have handicapped this camera on purpose to make me buy something that I do not want. And now I'm going to have to wait until the next generation of XT cameras comes out, if it comes out at all. Because now the industry in the last 5 years, not only due to OVID-K, 19A, and a lot of other things going on. We've had a chip shortage due to said OVID-K 19A, and the industry has shrunk a lot. And I don't pay attention much to the apocalyptic warnings from certain YouTubers, not going to mention a name. There's a certain husband and wife couple that loves to fearmonger about the camera industry that I can't understand why anyone watches their videos at all. They're not helpful in any way. But Fujifilm is going to be in the camera business. They're going to stay there. Olympus, not so much. Oh, I forgot, I'm sorry. OM system, not so much. And I'm going to be making a video ranting about that as well, so just wait. But there's one last thing. While I'm on the topic of Fuji's X cameras, I want to talk about the Kaizen strategy and what it means to me and what it should mean to you. Fujifilm has abandoned the Kaizen strategy that they introduced from day one, that they said we will always want to honor and we want to keep our older cameras up to date as long as the processor in there can handle the firmware. But instead, what they have done, and they've been doing this the last few generations, they would release a new film simulation, and I'm going to give you an example, classic negative, And the older cameras would be able to benefit from this simulation with a firmware update. You'd be able to get that. But the excuse that they have been giving as to why they didn't do it is because there was not enough RAM or internal memory on the camera to hold these simulations. Now, what sort of bullshit excuse is that? When I have paid full retail, not all the time, sometimes I buy my cameras used, but in the case of my X-T3, I paid full retail for that camera. It has the same capabilities, albeit the lack of image stabilization, as the X-T4. Except it does not have those new simulations. Nostalgic Negative, I think, was the latest one. And speaking of that, some of that to you all may not be important. If you shoot RAW, it may not be a thing. But coming from a cinematography background, someone that shoots weddings now professionally, using those film simulations cuts my editing time in half. Because what I get out of camera most of the time is perfectly usable. My clients love it. They love the way that these files look straight out of camera, and my videos are good to go, just like that. No LUTs, these bullshit 3D LUTs that everyone is selling and trying to say, hey, pay $100 for my LUT package that they went in and spent about 5 minutes on. That's just like presets. You know, it's just a con game, all of that. And Fuji has decided, for whatever reason, not to introduce a new film simulation. Now, why is that? Is it because they've run out? Well, I know that they haven't ran out, because how is it that they can cancel their most popular film stock and one of the most, if not the most popular wedding film stocks in all of human history since photography began, Pro 400H? It's gone. It's not coming back. Why not make a film simulation like that to preserve this look and it be officially from Fujifilm? Why can't we do that? It makes you wonder, huh? And it makes you wonder why that on this generation of cameras that was not released. Because it could have been. I can create the same look of Pro 400H in Photoshop or a LUT in under an hour. I can do that. Why couldn't they and add it to the camera to be a new benefit? I don't understand it. And perhaps you all can help me understand this as well. I want you all to comment below and help me understand this. Help me understand why that they have made this decision. If you think I'm right, let me know. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. But do not personally insult me, or I will delete your comment off this page. I want this to be a healthy discussion, and I want you all to know something. I am a Fuji fanboy, but I do not worship at their feet, nor any other camera manufacturer at all. They are a tool that provides an extra bit of satisfaction to me on my work day. At a wedding, whether it be a portrait session or anything that requires a camera, Fuji is my favorite to use because they understand it, or at least they did. They grasped it. The heart and the soul of photography, they understood that. That is something that Canon and Nikon over the years have forgotten, because all they care about is people with afros and guys with sleeves and tattoos, which, hey, no problem with that, no offense to that or whatever, but guys that shill for them and go around making all these little hipster videos online and saying, oh yes, this camera is the bestest thing ever, and it's barely an improvement over the last one that came out. It's almost like someone telling you that the latest version of Madden NFL football is actually better than the last one. It's not that big of an upgrade. That's why I would always recommend that people wait at least 2 cycles of cameras to upgrade if you're going to. And for this, for my purposes, having in-body stabilization is something that I want. And I think I'm probably going to get an X-T4 because it still has all of those things that I want, the capabilities that I want, instead of me paying over $2,000 for a camera that is not ergonomically built for me. And Fuji could have had my money. They could have had my money on the X-T5. I would have bought it day one, right out the door, if they would have included a battery grip. The film simulation was fine. Them leaving that out was okay. But they have robbed me and you of not having a battery grip on there. And I get it. Some people may not want a battery grip, and if that camera is for you, that is fine. The very camera that I'm recording this on has a battery grip, and the reason why that it's still recording me now is because it has a battery grip on it. This was easy. This was easy. But they didn't do it. They chose a dick move, and now they're not going to get my money. And they shouldn't get yours either. Because if they are allowed to do this, if we as customers and consumers of their products allow them to get away with this, they're going to continue doing it. And limiting the products that you love and enjoy so that you would have to pay the extra money for something that you don't want. They never dictated what these cameras were. It was us. It was our feedback that went into what they did. Why do you think that the normal flippy screen came back to the X-T5? It's because we said that we did not want the flip out screen, which, me being a videographer, I really don't mind it. I'm looking at myself now to the right of the camera. So it's helpful for video. But I digress. You know, that's just something that photographers don't like as much. And the more and more that this goes on, you know, I think that these camera companies are becoming out of touch with their customers. I think that they're not paying attention anymore, and I think that they're doing just basically what the bottom line is so that they can make money. And all the while, slowly but surely, and laugh at this at your own risk, cell phones are catching up. And 10 years from now, will I be recording this video if I haven't gotten too gray and passed on, but will I be recording this video on a cell phone that has the quality of lens on it that this camera does? Maybe. Because they are catching up. And if these camera companies still want to be viable for professionals, they're going to have to listen to their customer, and they're going to have to honor the bedrock on which they were built in the first place. I want to thank you all for watching this video. Thank you all for tuning back in. I apologize, it's been so long since I've made one, and I know that this video is probably not the video that you all wanted, because you probably wanted to see and to hear more about this bad boy right here. And I promise you, more videos are coming. As soon as my lens comes in Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to be testing it, doing some pictures with some beautiful people, way more beautiful than me, and we're going to get you guys some good content on this. Give me some suggestions in the comment section of what you want me to share, what you want me to talk about when it comes to GFX or any cameras in general, and I will do my best to work around my schedule. I've got a really tough wedding schedule this year, and I'm trying to edit and to get stuff out to my clients, but I really want this channel to be something that is unbiased and truthful for you all to get an honest opinion of the cameras that I have and that I use without you being shilled into buying something that you will regret. So until next time, thank you all for tuning in. God bless you.